its lower level of mental well-being. But this is not always necessarily the cases. Mental health the promotion and the prevention work by the identical individuals that cause many circumstances. Moreover, they are suicidal. That can be postnatal depression, who are the new mom, antenatal depression. It can be just next after the schizophrenia. We most of the women forget things in the certain age, and there is mental stress and the depression, and all over the sectors is a huge sector. So moreover there we are here about this topic. If anybody feel like, okay, I am not actually feeling I used to feel before, it can be positive, it can be negative. Please talk to your close person. If no, then the next person. If no, then the next is a doctor. But never keep quiet. This is very important. Now, I would like to call Ms. Ranjita Shain. She is a London Ambulance Service Needs Trust, Director of the Business Intelligence as well. So welcome, and I'm very much inspired by you from the beginning. Oh, wow. And welcome to the wemen as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Smita, for that perhaps a little bit extreme introduction, and thank you for inviting me, and really, really good to see some of the
I
great
want you to
work.
cover this, definitely.
Really, really good to see some of the good initiatives that you're involved in through Glow Women, and of course hearing about the Glow Women Institute is also really, really encouraging. So I don't know why Smita has called me the key speaker, because I don't really have a kind of, I don't think I'm qualified to talk about mental health in any great detail, but of course I do recognise that actually mental health, we tend to associate it with the negative side, but actually mental health is a continuum. It's not just negative. There are such things that we experience, we go through, that are positive experiences, but it's all about our mental health. And actually, over the years, what I've come to realise that actually mental health is the root of how we how we feel physically, how we feel spiritually, how we feel connected, our psychological kind of status. Mental health is actually the foundation underneath all of those states of mind. So we should never ever see mental health or talk about mental health in only a negative way, I would say. We should always celebrate the positives about the state of the mental health we're in. So what can I say? So I don't know if any of you, like me, were raised from a very young age in this country. So I came over to this country with my parents when I was only 6 months old. So you can actually say I was raised here. And if not born here, but very much raised here. So I went through my schooling, my primary school, my secondary school, obviously college, university, and all right from the beginning here. Unlike perhaps many of you who perhaps came here at a later stage in life from India, Bangladesh, or other countries from the African subcontinent and Asian subcontinent. So if you'd asked me about 35, 40 years ago, what is mental health? I would have naively thought it's a negative thing, it's a condition, it's an illness, it's a condition. But actually, over the years, I look back at those young years here, and I think, well, actually, we were going through different stages of mental health at that stage. We were at school, and the BME community is much larger now. When I went to school, we were very much in the minority, very, very much in the minority. So you would go to school, and you'd be mixing with predominantly white sort of girls and boys. You'd come home, and then you'd put a different hat on, and you'd be experiencing sort of the traditions that your parents wanted to teach you. And actually, whilst that balance is really, really good, I would always advocate it. For someone very young, it can be quite confusing. You're almost sort of wearing different hats. You're at home, you're wearing one hat, and you're learning different traditions, different languages, And then you're going into school and college, and you're experiencing different things, and you think, well, where do I fall in this spectrum? You know, how should I behave? How should I kind of portray myself to the wider community? So if I think back to that time, mental health was part of our life, you know, even at that young stage. Children go through stages of mental health, different spectrums of mental health. Some deal with it better than others, but actually mental health starts from the day we're born, basically. So then, of course, you know, you go through school, you go through college, you go through university, and you know, I've seen the BME community in particular increase in leaps and bounds, but we're still seen as a minority. So always in the back of your mind, you know, it's thinking, are you good enough? Are you doing enough to kind of, you know, portray a positive image of yourself? Are you working hard enough? Are people recognizing you? And you know, again, you come back home and think, have I done enough today? You know, should I have done it this way? And so your mental health is, you know, working overtime all the time. So, you know, it's really good that we're talking about these issues now, and I always stress, and when I say issue, I mean, I don't mean it in a negative way, it's a positive thing as well. But I've seen in my own career how much women's issues are given so much more focus these days, which is a great thing, because the power of networking, the power of just learning from each other, you know, all of you have different stories today, and actually, you know, we all learn from that. At my workplace, so yes, I am the director of the business intelligence team at the London Ambulance Service, and you know, it's not been easy. It's not been easy. I still see myself as a minority in my workplace, not because just of my skin colour, but because of the fact that I'm a woman. You know, the gender balance isn't quite there yet, particularly in leadership roles. And so, again, I sit in the boardroom or I sit in an exec committee meeting and I think, am I being heard? Am I being listened to? And I come home and then that plays on my mind. And so that's playing on my mental health. But actually what I've got to learn over the years is you as much as connectivity, as much as networking is really, really a good thing, it inspires you, it encourages you. Self-care and self-reflection is one of the most important things. You have got to be determined in yourself that actually you're not going to let these barriers get in your way. Because until you have that confidence in yourself to say, right, I'm not going to let these barriers go in my way, however close your friends are, however close your networks are, ultimately it's you that's going to have to prove yourself. No one is going to be pulling you.
I have some question.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
From you, definitely.
Yeah.
So my question is like, yes, as you said, the ambulance is most about like the male-dominating thing, as we have seen. Like, since I bought 4 profession, I have in my mind that is male-dominated. One is butcher. Second is this ambulance driver, something like that. And third is builder. I always feel like this male dominating. There is never can be the good. But I feel one day I had some when I had my second baby. So on my pregnancy I had COVID. So the lady came. The paramedic was a lady, and she's a huge lady. Like, she is like look like a man, and she that time I forgot that I have COVID, and I was just overwhelmed to see her. So in this particular, as I said, these 3, many of them, but now London Ambulance has many ladies like you, fabulous. I clap for that. Secondly, how you see like how people can get into that and this profession, and how it helps to come out, as you said, still you have the job, I would say satisfaction. Yeah. So how they can get in the shortly, I think I have other 2 guests.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So obviously I do work for London Ambulance, but I'm not a frontline paramedic. However, as Sneaker said, over the years we have seen large amounts of recruitment of women in the frontline services, so that's really, really encouraging. However, there are times when I'm sitting in the boardroom in a meeting and we're talking about women's issues, and actually, you know, women do get to, being a paramedic is a 12-hour job. You know, you have 12-hour shifts. And actually women do face difficulties, particularly with childcare, particularly with women who perhaps, you know, like me, are in their 50s and then they're suddenly menopausal and they can't cope with the stresses of shift work, the stresses of dealing with kind of, you know, patients for a 12-hour shift. And actually, you know, women's health issues are still very prevalent in that sort of service. But I think, you know, I work for an organisation where inclusivity is really being given a lot of importance. So, you know, menopause policies, for example, are now, you know, prevalent in the NHS. Different shift patterns for women who do have, you know, childcare responsibilities, who do have other health issues. You know, these are being sort of, you know, promoted actively. I have a chief exec who is absolutely, really, really determined about inclusivity. So it's changing. It really is changing. So gone are the days where you don't see, you know, it's all men out there helping patients. There are, I wouldn't say that it's equal, but there are significant, larger proportion of women now doing frontline services, and that's really, really encouraging. And that encourages me back at, in my role, because even though I'm still in the minority, you know, I work for an organisation that actually wants to eradicate the differences between men and women, colour, skin colour, and ethnicity and race. So it has to come from the leaders down. If your leadership is not promoting it, then those at the, you know, bottom of the chain will feel the difference. But when your leadership promotes it, then it runs through the whole organisation. So I would say I'm very lucky, not just in the London Ambulance Service, but I think in the NHS in general. You know, equality, diversity, gender balance is really being given a lot of prominence. So, you know, for those of you who may be interested in careers in the NHS, you know, what's stopping you? Honestly, there are so many different careers out there. Your skin colour, your gender, it shouldn't put you back. We're all equals. We have, you know, men and women doing all sorts of professions now. So yeah, absolutely. So does that answer your question? I don't know.
Yes. Thank you so much. Our last one is Tamanna Mia. She's always like being with us as our media person, and she's doing much things in her way. So before she gets in, can I have Jannat? Okay. So she's a singer. How you find your mental health in this country?
She's mental.
Are you mental? Okay. So come on. So get ready for your one. Let's talk a little bit. So she is someone like, she is new in this country. So how you feeling? Like how you feeling like this weather and everything?
I won't say like much. I just want to say this is our body, this is our mind. So we have the power to control everything. So this is a beautiful life. So why we just waste our time? That's it. I don't say too much because I'm new in here and it's my first. You know, it's my first. So that's it. Life is enjoy.
Yeah. I know she's cool. She will say only this much.
I'm always cool.
So yeah. So can I have Tamanna over here? And after that we'll have a group picture. Umesh is with us, and that is more of our end of the session. Thank you. So if you're not ready, can I play something? Yeah. Can you just play? So it's a glimpse of what we do and how you do, and moreover what we are planning to do. So it's a short video, maybe you will connect with Glow Women.